Joining me now to talk through some of these issues is Fricke, budget spokesman for Merkel's junior coalition partners, the Free Democratic Party. Mr. Fricke, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. We appreciate it. I want to start by asking you about the Franco-German agreement on bondholders taking losses, because Germany has had to accept a watering down of its call for automatic bond cuts. Can coalition lawmakers like yourself live with that compromise?
Well, if we look into the details, and that is what we're doing during that week, we just had a meeting last night with our finance minister, with the budget committee. It could be the right way. We have to look into the details, as always. If you say the word automatic, everybody has a different angle towards that word. For us in Germany, it's important to see that if we help, which we have to do within Europe, because we're the ones who really had great luck that we have the euro, then we have to do this under the special circumstances that are needed to bring back countries on track, like Greece, like Ireland. And
but
if that'll
Fricke,
work, then it's okay.
You seem to have conceded a great deal, haven't you?
Well, it's the question, how much is needed? Right now, we're looking at, is Ireland willing to reform? And if we look at the package, they're willing to reform. But yet, nobody knows where the future years are going to. So if things don't work well, which is part of mankind, then we have to find a way. And I think that the collective action clauses that are going to come in at the beginning, middle of 2013 could be the right way.
I suppose the worrying thing right now is that this compromise that Germany has made, the bailout for Ireland, it doesn't seem to have reassured the markets very much. Bond yields are continuing to climb.
There are two angles on that. Yes, on the one hand side, I think the bond market goes to the numbers that probably have already been in the background, that have vanished within the last years. But we should always look at the spread of the bonds before we had the euros, and the question where the spread is now. That is the one thing. Second thing is, of course, it takes a little time until everybody looks, what has Ireland promised to do? What tax cuts will they do? What will they do on the VAT? What will they do on the minimum wages and so on? And it takes a little time, yet I think, and here comes the difference between the politician on my side and the market on the other side. The question is, who's the cooler one here? And I think it should be politics this time. If the markets try to react more, let's say, nervous,
Fricke,
they should look at what they lose.
The markets seem to be forcing the hand of politicians like yourself. We've already had a bailout for Ireland. Now the markets seem to have Portugal and Spain in their sights.
I mean, this is what we expected. It's the market going to say, okay, we're going to test the next thing and the next thing. And that is why we're not only trying to do the right things for Ireland, that is why we're trying to find a new financial stability system for the future, telling everybody what the numbers will be in the future, and on the other side, tell all the European countries what probably their rates will be in future years to get money. I think we're slowly getting to a point where we find out, okay, we can test, but at the end we don't win.
Well, it's not just testing, is it? If you look at what's happening in the bond markets right now, according to the bond markets, there will be other Eurozone nations that will need help.
I'm not yet sure about that. I mean, we have to look at two things. The one, what was happening on the day-to-day market, and the other thing is, if countries like Spain and Portugal go on the market with new bonds. But right now, I don't like to say, okay, you put a piece of paper on and numbers are going up and everything, and then everything is going to work like that way. No, it's a testing, and it's a question who is willing to take bonds and who is willing to sell bonds for what price. And that's where we have to look, and politics have to react and do something.
Mr. Fricke, are you at all concerned about the size of the EU's bailout pot?
No, not really right now. If I look at the numbers, what Ireland is getting right now, it's this 85 billion euros. And where these 85 billion euros come? From Ireland itself, from these three columns we've built. No, I don't think that is a size question right now. I know that there again the market tried to react and was nervous, because every time a politician of influence has an idea, the market says, okay, it's not an idea, it's a plot behind it, and that's the way it's going to be, and we're going to follow it. So we have to be very cautious.
Mr. Fricke, Spain seems to be the big worry right now as the Eurozone's fourth largest economy, and it's almost twice the size of Portugal, Ireland and Greece. Is the EU's fund big enough to save Spain?
If I were the one to answer that question absolutely precisely, I'd do the wrong job. I wouldn't be a politician. But if I look what Ireland did and how we did build up the Ireland package, then you can see you can compare the numbers before you do a package, after you've made the package. And then again, which we don't have to forget, there is no Spain rescue thing going on.
Mr. Fricke, German Chancellor Angela Merkel narrowly secured support for that €750 billion rescue package in May, and that was met with a great deal of criticism, discontent. There were murmurings, people saying, right, we've done it now, we're never going to do it again. Do you think that Parliament would support expanding the fund, in theory?
This would be a politician, if I'd answer right now, to answer a question that is not asked yet. What we are doing right now, and what is the big discussion within Germany, and especially if you talk with average Joe on the street, is to tell him where are the advantages of the euro, why are we helping, and most important, what will be the future fund? How will it look? What will it look like in future? And how do we get, let's say, the ones who are on the market to pay and not the taxpayer to pay in future? This is the big German issue. Yes,
so the European fund can be expanded for troubled countries if needs be, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, you're talking about politics. Here it comes, what is the ability that politics do have? What can they do? But it's not, there is no plan, there is no talk about it. Yesterday, during that 2-hour meeting, there was no talk about expanding with the finance minister, and this is the point we're right at. This week is to help to put, on the one hand side, Ireland back on track, and the other one to find future measures and not to talk about Spain.
Mr. Otto Fricke, budget spokesman for the Free Democratic Party, really interesting to talk to you. Thanks very much for joining us.